Afternoon and welcome back to the PPPC National Show. This is the National Convention, otherwise known as NATCON. And hey, I have lined up some of the most visionary people in our industry. I've said the word several times today. This is Suhail Niazi. He is the president, the founder of a company called ReturnMe. And who the heck is ReturnMe? Oh, maybe they're only the largest lost and found company. Oh, in the world?
Yes.
In the world. Lost and found, that's what these guys do. Suhail, it's so great to see you, man.
Likewise, Alex. Always a pleasure.
It is so great to see you. And what I've been doing this day, today, is I've been capturing the essence of what really motivates people. Yes, we know that you do products. We're going to get into those in a couple of seconds and talk about the products. But before we do that, Suhail, why did you found the company? And all these years later, why are you still doing it?
Finding the company is an interesting question. A lot of people ask me. In a nutshell, basically what happened was many years ago, probably around 20, 21 years ago, I had a cat.
Okay.
And we moved. And so what happened was the cat, we had a little pet tag on the cat and it had our phone number on it. And so when I moved at that time, my parents canceled that phone number. And so when actually I was probably around 25 years ago. And so when we moved, my cat got out of the house. Okay, like we were moving back and forth, whatever, just ran out of the house, and we couldn't find the cat.
Okay.
And so I'm out there putting up posters, and at that time we didn't even have a new number because, you know, we canceled the previous one, and I think Bell at that time was like so late or something, I can't remember. And so I'm making these posters, and I had to put like a friend's phone number, and I was thinking, man, I wish there was a way where if someone found my cat, they can just call one number, and then that would go to like 5 other numbers, you know, like sort of like a forwarding or something. So like the concept originally came from there. Like I wish there was a way that there was just one place they can call and then I could just update that one place and then they can reach me out, something like that. And so I had thought of the idea, and then, you know, luckily good news is that we did find the cat later. Basha came home about 3 days later. Someone found him and we got him home. But that was the original concept of the idea, where I got the little, you know,
the brainwave,
or the you know, the seed. A few years later, I was getting married. We got married, and I was looking to start a business, but I was just too busy. My career in IT was taking off as well. And then I had my first child, Hiba, and she was, I think, in 2007. And so I had 3 months off, and Quebec has one of the best maternity leaves, as you know, in the world.
Fabulous.
And so I'm taking 3 months off, I'm staying home, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help my wife, you know, help with the baby. And, you know, at that time, obviously, my mother was living close by, and my mother-in-law was living, so they were over like every day.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, you know, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have nothing to do, the baby's being taken care of, sleeps half the time, my mom's here, my other mom's here, so I was like, and so I got bored, and then sort of I was like, okay, let me start thinking about some business idea. And so that's when I had the time to come up with the concept of, hey, why don't I, you know, I had that issue like 10 years ago with my cat, so why don't I come up, and so that's where I brainstormed the idea. And so when I first started the company, it was really more for asset management. Okay. Because I was in the IT world, and pet tags. Okay. And so that's how the company eventually started. It was with that in mind. And fast forwarding, as I was getting some clients on board, one of the clients asked me, hey, instead of having these tags, can you put our logo on it? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so I did it, and then like, hey, can we get some more? We want to give to our customers. I was like, yeah, I guess. And so I had no idea of promo or swag, or really didn't understand the industry. And so that was my first introduction to branding. And then what I saw was that, hey man, this is a lot easier. You know, instead of running around trying to sell one tag at a time, or one account at a time, I just sold 500 pieces, and then 2 months later they bought another 500 pieces. And so that's where I slowly started shifting the business towards branded and so forth. And then I found out that there was a whole association behind this, which I had no idea. And then I joined the associations, and that's when things just sort of took off.
So it's funny because I've spoken to a few people today, and we've been talking about passion. And it seems to me that you took this time during a paternity leave to be with your family, you're relaxed, you're in a state of rest and digest, and all of a sudden this creative idea comes to you. Okay, And what I've been saying is that when you follow your passion, it seems to me, and it's certainly been my realization over the past couple of years, that the world unfolds for you. It opens up and you start to see the possibilities and understand, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. So when I hear this story of you building a tag and it not having a logo, and then someone saying, maybe you could put a logo on that, maybe you could make me 250 of those. Maybe I could do a repeat order of 500 units. It kind of just presents itself because you're putting heart into it, right? It's like, it's something you really enjoy doing. It seems to me that when we fixate on an outcome, we strive, we're trying so hard, it's like it doesn't happen as much as when it's passionate and when it's like really something you love doing.
I think your outcome has to be general, like you want to get to Toronto.
You have to have a direction, right?
You have to have a direction, but you're flexible. Like, should I take a car? Should I take a bus? Should I take a train? Should I take a plane? Should I go on a 401? Should I take a service road? Should I?
Yes.
And so I think anyone who is starting a company or is building their company and evolving, I think they have to, especially as a small business, you have to have the mindset of constant and never-ending improvement. And innovation. And I think that's what I love about my business, is that we're small, we're nimble, we're fast, and we're constantly trying to do new things. We're not just stuck by saying, this is all you can do, that's the only color I have, that's the only inventory I have. My philosophy is anything is possible. It just comes down to your budget and time.
Yes.
And so we figure out a way to get it done.
Yes. And I spend a lot of time with Suhail. Full disclosure, I'm actually a partner of Suhail's. And I'm so honored to be a partner with him. You are just, honestly, everything I could ever imagine in a friend, in a mentor, in a smart business person. And so what I wanted to say is that I spend a fair amount of time with Suhail, and I speak with you quite often, and what I really value about you, Suhail, is your ability to bring your faith into business in a way that is inspiring. We talk quite often, and you share stories about your faith, and I'm inspired on a daily basis when I work with you. And I was that always part of your philosophy when you started the business, or like were the two not separate whatsoever? Like how do you live that way? Because it's something I don't see a lot of, and I've come to value it tremendously. And I just think it's the way to do business.
Thank you, Alex. Well, number one, it's awesome to work with you. So it's a two-way street. I mean, your passion, your excitement, you're so energetic. It's hard to see that, especially genuinely, right? A lot of people will fake it, but that's just how you are, 24/7. So I love that about you. And so I appreciate that as well as a friend, and as also as a mentor. You've given me tons of advice. You've been in the industry longer than me, and you've done things I've never thought I could do. And so I appreciate that. Let's start off with that.
Thank you.
I think for me, my faith defines who I am as a person.
Yes.
And so when you live it and you breathe it, then it naturally just becomes a part of you. And so I don't see as a separation that when I'm here, I'm like this, and when I go home or when I'm private, I'm like this.
Yes.
For me, it's just how I try to be as a person, 24/7.
Yes, I understand.
And so I think that's why it may emanate, because that's just how I've tried to live my life as ethically as possible. And to a certain sense, as a business, I try not to get involved in certain industries or whatever it is, where I personally feel that are not beneficial or may be harmful for people. And so I've had to turn down orders which some people wouldn't like or would get upset. But for me, it was a personal belief, is that I know the power of our products, I know the power of the brand, and I don't want to remind someone to do certain things which I personally have, a discussion, or have a discomfort in terms of, what is maybe, I don't want to say ethically or morally, but what might just not be more harmful or whatever to people. So I've always tried to support and proactively give more towards charities and nonprofits, where we give extra products for free, because it's not just a business decision, but it's like something I feel happy about.
Yes.
That I know that if my product will help support, UNICEF, because people will see the brand, then the people will donate more. And if they donate more, then more people will benefit. And then I have an extra pleasure in that I know that my product is helping save someone's life or making someone's life better.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's sort of the angle that I try to push. So that's how I sort of connect it within my business, I guess, to a certain extent. But again, it's a fine line. I don't want to, I don't, it's, for people it's a livelihood, so I don't want to have that type of discontention. So I try to make it very open that, listen, I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to work on any order you want, but I'd prefer if we try to stay away from, ABC industry or whatever it is. So,
yeah. And I really respect that. I think a lot of people in the industry respect that you stay true to your values, you stay true to who you are and what you believe. Mm-hmm. And in that manner, we build trust, right? And business is all about trust. Business is all about relationships, and a healthy relationship has a tremendous amount of trust in it, right?
Absolutely,
so when you build it that way, then it works, it flourishes, you feel good, and I was just talking to Mitch from Genumark, who you know, and they're a fabulous company, and he was talking about the family environment. Yeah. And I feel that at ReturnMe as well. There's certainly a family environment.
I mean, since I've started, I got just amazing employees. Yeah. I mean, we've had employees that have been with us for 10 years, 8 years, awesome. 6 years.
Yes.
Which is very hard to find these days. People switch very quickly and stuff like that. And so, we are where we are today because of the team that we have and incredible people that have incredible values. I don't have to ask them to do something. They will volunteer and ask, and I'm very thankful for that. So we try to build, some family there. We do, obviously, like any other company, little events here and there, whatever, build some relationship and bonding. And most of my employees, I even know offline, where we might go to play baseball together, or we'll play in a hockey tournament together outside of work.
Yes, yes.
And so it's just, and some of them I've known since 20, 30 years, but I hired them as we became good friends.
Unreal.
So, having good employees is extremely difficult these days. A lot of people are not loyal. It's what I hear over and over today. Right. And so to me, having that type of base, it really gives me peace of mind. And it gives me the comfort of actually having to, if I have to leave town or I have to go away, I'm not worried about what's happening at the office because I trust them. Exactly. Not necessarily as an employee, but also as like a family, as a friend. Yes. And I hope that they have that same trust with me when they're in a tough spot or they have a situation that they need, that they're not hesitant to ask, hey Suhail, I'm going through this here. Can I have some time off, or can I have this? And it's not a business decision. It's a human decision. It's a friend decision. And so that's where I try to build that gap.
If I was going to make a quote, I would quote you and just say it's not a business decision, it's a human decision. It's kind of like, it's the sentiment that's been espoused throughout today's interviews is I'm speaking with really, truly great people who have a deep respect for humanity, and you certainly do. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't spend a little bit of time talking about the product, because I generally haven't. I haven't been talking about too many products in these meetings because I wanted to get behind the product. I wanted to talk about the people, the passion, and alignment. But your product is unique, Suhail. You do something that nobody else really does in the world of Lost and Found. Can you explain how your Lost and Found product works and how it differs from other products on the market?
Yeah, in a nutshell, we're basically a lost and found concierge service. Okay, so we help people get back their lost items, whether it be keys, cell phone, luggage, cats, dogs, sunglasses, wallets, passports, you name it. And basically, at the end of the day, it's a very simple process. All of our recovery tags have a unique code on the back. Okay. The other side is branded with the client's logo, whatever. But the reverse side of the tag, let's say a luggage tag, I didn't bring one here, but you can show it later. But it has a unique ID number on it. And so when the customer receives it, they register it online with their name and email. Okay. Very fast, 30-second process. And that's how we know that this tag belongs to this individual. And so if they lose it, they lose their keys or their luggage anywhere in the world, the person who finds it, it has clear-cut instructions. It says, return me for a reward, so it sparks some curiosity. Yes. And then it has a toll-free number and a website. Okay. And so they can call us 24/7. Once our agents respond, we ask for the code. Once we know the code, at that point, we can either connect you to the finder and say, hey, Alex, we got great news. We found a set of keys that belongs to you at the Starbucks on 5th Avenue and whatever. You're like, awesome, I'm 2 blocks away. Perfect. Well, speak to Jeremy. He's the bar sir, whatever. So we can either connect you to the finder. That's one option. Yep. The other option is you may be across the world. Yeah. You may be in another city. You may not want to go to that part of town, or you may not want to meet a random stranger. Yes. No worries. Yes. We can arrange through our logistical partnerships with FedEx, UPS, DHL, and even Uber to pick up the item, package it, and ship it back to you anywhere in the world. And so that's what sort of makes our difference, is that we're a concierge service. We're a service-based company.
Yes.
Some of the other products, obviously, that are doing very well are like the AirTag tile, which are great products, especially if you lose something in the house.
Yeah.
The difference for us, I guess, is being in the promotional industry, you know, you're looking at price points. And you're looking at volume.
Yes.
And so ordering those type of products, you're looking at a $25 to a $50 price point. So it's not a real giveaway that you can just give away here and there. Whereas our products might be a $2, $3, $4 price point, or even lower depending on volume.
Yes.
And so we're a volume-based business. We'll sell, you know, 5, 10, 20,000 tags at a time, you know, for maybe $1.50, $2, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just hits out more people. And so I think what's remarkable for me after all these years and, you know, millions of items protected, just this 2 weeks ago, we hit our 100,000 recovery. And that's Congrats. Great. I think what really makes me excited is that you know, we've have, you know, thousands of testimonials.
Yep.
And when you hear the emotions, you hear the how much money we save people. We see how much emotional, you know, like someone's on their honeymoon and they lost their phone.
Yes.
And they had dozens and dozens of pictures on it.
Yes.
And then boom, they got their phone back courtesy of ReturnMe in like, you know, 4 hours.
Yes.
And the sentiment and the excitement that they give to say, hey, if I would have lost this, you know, I would have lost those memories for life.
Yes.
And so that gives me a different level of pleasure. You know, it's one thing to make money and to you know, go to shows like this and meet great people and establish business. Everyone gets motivated by that.
Yes.
But it's another thing to see that, hey, my product really saved someone. It saved them $500 from getting a new set of keys. It saved someone the hassle of not having to do this. And that brings another level of pleasure. And I think all of our team sees that, because when we get the recovery and we see what we did and we see the excitement that the customer has, that just brings a little, you know, you can't get that selling a water bottle or a t-shirt. No one can say, oh, I wore this t-shirt and like, you don't get that. but 5 years later, I mean, we have customers in our database because of other companies that we acquired for over 20 years.
Yes.
And they're still getting their items back. And so that brings a different level of enjoyment and satisfaction, which I think is very unique to what we do. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So you've heard it here. That's how the product works. It is really an unbelievable product, and like you say, it is a concierge service. It's like unique. It's you're in touch with the company who cares and who's able to actually facilitate the return from, like Suhail said, anywhere in the world, which is really astounding.
And I think one main thing that a lot of people like is that it's confidential and it's secure.
Yes.
So you don't have to put your personal information on the tags, which is a security threat, because if someone malicious finds it, they know who you are, they know where you live, they know that you're not home, and chances are your keys might be in your bag.
Yes.
With us, it's completely confidential. We never give that information to the finder.
Yeah.
And there's no issue of tracking or privacy of people knowing where you are or someone knowing where you are. You know what I mean? It's simple and it does the job. And so I think a lot of people like it for that reason. And it works anywhere in the world. So
amazing. Well, you heard it here first on Promonoise. This is Suhail Niazi, president, founder of ReturnMe. Honestly, you got to check out ReturnMe. Return.me is the website, and you want to check them out. This is an economical gift. This is a gift that actually serves a purpose well beyond the years that traditionally we're using promotional products for. So you use something, it's no good anymore, that's it. This product will continue to work for the rest of your life, provided you have it. Attach it to whatever you want. And you've had some crazy returns. Before we leave, tell me the craziest return you've ever had. What's the craziest thing you've ever recovered that was lost?
Oh boy, I think we had once a pet ferret that was lost.
A pet ferret?
Yeah, someone put a tag on a ferret. We do dog tags and cat tags, but we had a ferret, and the person who got the recovery didn't know what a ferret was. It's not a common animal per se, and it's not really, you know, it's a new pet, I guess. This was a while ago, and so they couldn't understand what it was. Okay. And so I remember, like, someone came to the office, like, we found a ferret. I'm like, what do you mean you found a ferret? And he's like, I don't know what a ferret is. And so I remember sort of what it was, but like I didn't really know, and so I remember Googling it. Yeah. And what it was. That was one. I remember one time it was a bit tricky. It was a bit scary, where, if memory serves correct, a lady called and she found a set of keys in her, I guess her husband or boyfriend's jacket. And she's like, And so, so it became, I don't remember how we dealt with it, but all I knew was she was like screaming on the phone because, you know, she's like, why is there someone else's keys in my husband's pocket?
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, let's just leave it to that. But that was some of them. And we've done some incredible stories. I remember we had an IBM executive whose laptop got switched at the airport.
Security, yeah, okay.
You know, a lot of laptops are the same. So I guess someone before them took their laptop.
Yeah.
And so one person's in Minnesota, the other person was like in Tennessee, and he was an IBM executive, and we had to get it back to them. And that was, it was exciting because like it was an IBM executive, right? It was big and stuff like that. So we did some pretty cool recoveries. I'm not in touch as much as I used to be with what was going on. Before I used to see all the reports. I used to be the one on the phone, and I used to like, you know, but as business grows, obviously you have to, you know, focus on different things. But but I know my team enjoys it. They really like the excitement and the passion of helping people and hearing, you know, their excitement about it. So so yeah, that's fun.
Suhail, thanks for spending time with us.
Oh, thank you, Alex.
We totally appreciate it. And again, check them out, return.me.
Awesome.
Suhail, always a pleasure, man.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys later.
Thank you.